My peoples, good morning, fellas. The show kicks off in about 2, 3 minutes. You already know what it is, man. We're gonna be talking about this ZUFFA Boxing that we got to watch on Friday, and of course, Matchroom gave us a great card on Saturday. We're gonna go over all of it, break down the fights, and give our thoughts on some of them crazy scorecards that we got to see, my peoples. Setting up shop. See you guys in a couple of minutes. My peoples, I'm just hydrating, making sure we ready to go. Stay with me, yo. We about to kick this thing off with a bang. My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. Had a great weekend of boxing. ZUFFA, Matchroom, they gave us all the smoke. We have to talk about it. But before we get into the action, let me just say, man, good morning to everybody. Like I always say, it's a beautiful day. If you woke up, it don't matter if it's freezing, if it's snowing, if it's nice and sunny. You woke up. God gave us another day, my peoples. Yo, we're blessed. Come on now. We are blessed to be up this beautiful morning. So check it, man. We're going to get into all this action. For those of you who are just waking up, you already know what it is. Enjoy your breakfast. If you're on your way to work, drive safe. Salute to my boy Sai, already in the building, Toy Mafia. I appreciate y'all, man. You guys go in here and hit that like button right away. So I always appreciate that from you fellas. Let me grab my other phone because we got lots to talk about. We don't want to miss none of these interesting topics from these interesting matchups that we got Friday and Saturday. Hold on, my peoples. Let me just grab my other phone, man. I got to be ready for you, ready for this smoke. So, fellas, I'm going to start off right away, man, with these fights that we got on Friday from ZUFFA Boxing. I know you guys had to enjoy it. Remember, man, hit that like button. Don't be crazy with that like button, man. Come on now. And I got to show you guys something, too, man. Box Center, the show, episode 1, was supposed to drop yesterday, right? I've been telling you guys on Monday the episode was going to drop. Listen, I promise you, my peoples, I've been working super hard on that first episode. You know, I went to sleep late, woke up like at 5 in the morning. The editing process is taking me longer than I thought because it's like a 30-minute show. And it's a one-man army. I'm recording, I'm editing, I'm producing, I'm doing everything. So it takes some time. I'm going to do my best to drop the episode today. Let me see if I can handle it because it is really, for me to bring you the premium content that I want, it's taking me some time. But I got you, my peoples. I got you. I promise. And I'm going to show you a little, later on, I'm going to drop a little clip so you guys can see what I have, some of what I have thus far. So let me give you guys my personal highlights and lowlights from the ZUFFA card that we saw, and I'll do the same with the Matchroom showdowns that we saw on Saturday night. Kicking off with ZUFFA. The first thing that I have to say about ZUFFA Boxing is that they did a great job with the matchmaking. No easy fights. No cherry picks. Nobody was out there to just get an easy win. And Dana White delivered because he said he's going to have a culture where it's not going to be about fighters staying undefeated. And if you do stay undefeated, you earned that. You had to fight some tough names and get past them. You had to fight some competitive fights to be able to get that undefeated record. So if you get to a title fight and you're undefeated, that's a legit record. That's not, that's not a record that was built on easy wins and things of that nature. To give you an example, I was watching, and I'll show you the image. I want to show you guys this image. Look at the combined record of the ZUFFA fights from Friday. This is the combined record, y'all. 227 wins versus 9 losses. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. A lot of fighters, we saw multiple undefeated young fighters, but those undefeated young fighters were facing opponents who just had one loss or two losses. Fighters who were experienced, no easy wins, like Dana White said. He delivered on that promise. So they did a great job with the matchmaking. That's number one. The action that we saw inside the ring, great to see. We saw some devastating knockouts. We saw some competitive fights. And that's what you want as a boxing fan. Of course, it's the first card. We didn't see a lot of big names. We saw some fighters that we never seen before, that we never heard of, but they were good fighters. And with ZUFFA Boxing, they will be able to build their name. So, not to worry, because they also are signing names. They already signed Jai Opataya. He's on ZUFFA Boxing. And they brought in Rayo Valenzuela, who they already have a card, a matchup for. He's already going to be headlining an event real soon. Listen, my people, ZUFFA Boxing showed us they're here to stay. They are here to stay, my peoples, and they're gonna make noise. And I think you may remember that I said before, ZUFFA Boxing is gonna be on fire right in 2026. The building process is not gonna take as long as some of us thought. They not playing around. They bringing in the fighters to give us competitive fights, exciting fights. So that's my highlight of what we got from ZUFFA Boxing. Love the fights, love the action, and it all played out the way Dana White told us. Now, what is my low light from ZUFFA Boxing? Because I have to be honest, right? I have to tell you what I like, but I'm also going to tell you what I didn't like. Let's keep it real. Here's my low light. Take a look at these uniforms, my people. Take a look at these outfits. Y'all remember Hector Macho Camacho with the Indian dress gear, with the gladiator joint, with the fireman outfit? You know, Hector Camacho and them shorts. Hector Camacho made it part of the boxing culture. You see, look at this image with Carmel Moulton with the gold trunks. Look at Errol Spence with the yellow and pink. Look at Shakur Stevenson with the black and red and gray. You see Tank Davis with the gold and black, and Bud Crawford with all these colors. This has been a part of boxing. The way fighters dress, they get to express their individuality, their creativity, and you love to see it. This is part of the entertainment value that you get to watch. Well, on ZUFFA Boxing, it was a little bit different. What did we get on ZUFFA Boxing? One fighter wearing black trunks and the other fighter wearing white trunks. Honestly, I didn't like that. I don't like the idea of fighters wearing a uniform. And that's what we got on ZUFFA. Every single fighter was wearing the same thing, either black or white trunks. Your last name in the front, ZUFFA in the back. I didn't like that at all. It gives it a different look. Philly Talk TV is part of showmanship. For sure. Side, ZUFFA got a decent stable building up. Definitely, they bringing in young, undefeated fighters, and they're going to develop them, and they're also signing stars. The optics is not the same for ZUFFA Boxing because of white and black trunks. I'm not sure, how they came up with that. I understand that Dana White has uniforms for UFC, but that's different because you built UFC to what it is. You built it. You made it. UFC was a very small sport, a very small company, let's say, and you guys exploded that thing to the world stage. But boxing is different. Dana White didn't build boxing. We've been enjoying the sweet science for a very long time. And Hector Camacho, made it a trend to wear these type of outfits. And we enjoy it. We enjoy seeing it. So it's very different. Look at those white and black trunks and compare it to what you see Tank Davis wearing to the ring. Errol Spence, Carmel Moulton, Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson. Come on now. The Charlo brothers who'll be wearing that flashy gear. There's a lot of fighters out there that wear outfits that call your attention. You're like, oh, that's fire. Oh, look at these trunks. Oh, look at that robe. Oh, look at those shoes. Remember, and we spoke about it last week. Remember Stephen Fulton with the Timberland-looking boxing shoes and the jean-looking boxing trunks. That was fire. That was an iconic outfit. Like, yo, Stephen Coolboy wore that joint, and the next day we was all talking about it. We was all, you saw the image, you saw the outfit all over the place on social media. So ZUFFA Boxing takes that away. That element, which is part of the entertainment, is gone. It's gone. Remember Hector Camacho? Look at these outfits, bro. It gets you. Think about it, man. You get amped. When you see a fighter walking in the ring like this, it's like, whoa. You know that they spent time in this. They put effort. They put creativity. Somebody, Hector Camacho has somebody that worked hours and days to put these outfits together. All to entertain us. All to give us a show. To give us that entertaining aspect of it. Of whoa. From the moment Hector Camacho was making his ring walk, you was hyped. You was amped. ZUFFA took that away. They, that disappears. And what ZUFFA is replacing these outfits for, to me, is not cutting it. I felt like when you see these shorts and, black and white, it looks plain. It looks cheap. It looks like B-level stuff compared what the other fighters, what fighters on other networks are wearing. Te quiero, mi amor. So I think, Dana White, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and whoever else is involved in the decision-making process, I think that they should reconsider the uniform, because I think you're going to get some pushback. There's going to be people that's not going to be with it. I saw the first fight, and I was like, damn, black shorts and white shorts. Okay, maybe these guys are young and they're getting this opportunity, so they chose to wear those. Then I saw the second fight, white and black shorts. The third fight, white and black shorts. The fourth, I'm like, God damn, oh shit. It took me to it didn't even register because we're not used to seeing fighters in uniforms. So it didn't register to me right away. By the third fight, that's when I realized, oh shit, ZUFFA Boxing is gonna have them wearing uniform? Ah, man, this is whack. This is whack. I'm not feeling it. So that's my low light right there. They gave us some great fights, super competitive, but I'm not with the uniforms. I don't like it. When you compare, the uniform, look at Errol Spence. Look at that outfit. Look at Tank Davis. Look at that outfit. How can you even compare a guy wearing white trunks or black trunks versus that outfit Tank Davis is wearing right there? So they got to work on that. Come on, my people. ZUFFA Boxing and the uniforms, I find that to be whack. Everything else, I loved it. I loved the action. I love the matchups. I love the people that they got working on there. They got Max Kellerman, Antonio Tarver, and others who are real boxing folks that are going to give you some great commentary. But damn, them uniforms, man, when you look at ZUFFA Boxing uniforms, because that's what they are, look at it right there. Black trunks, white trunks. When you look at those uniforms, and then you look at what other fighters been wearing, that should look cheap as hell, bro. It looks whack. That's my play. That's my opinion. Side, they look like creative players on a fighting when you first start out. They wasn't able to get any other cool stuff, any other cool gear. That's the starting gear right there. Philly Talk TV, it's a plan. It kind of reminds me of Roku when Apollo Creed had the best walkout with James Brown. He the GOAT. Ooh, that was fire. That was fire. Rocky, that was fire, bro. Philly Talk TV, that was Philly Thin Jeans and Tim's. Oh, hold on, bro. Slow down. I know Philly Talk TV and all that, but we been rocking that in New York City, bro. I'm sorry, I can't give you that. I can't give it to you. I can't give it to you, bro. We been rocking the Timbs and the jeans shorts in New York. Been doing it. And I would dare bet that we've been doing it before y'all. Okay, go. Philly Talk TV. Then us black folks brung rappers out with them. It's just a part of the hype. This black and white, like Ali and Frazier shorts. Nah, man, listen. It's not black and white like Ali and Frazier shorts. You know why? Because everybody's wearing the same thing. That's a uniform. And we've never had uniforms in boxing. We've never had, a bunch of fights where all the fighters are wearing the same thing. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it's just me. Maybe fans start to buy into it. Maybe fans like it. But I personally, I'm not with it, bro. The Hydro Brian. Salute, my brother. Bam! Canelo versus Billy for the WBC in September. Man, listen. Mauricio, the golf ball Sulaiman, can't wait to get that WBC belt back to Canelo. And Billy got to whoop him to walk out of there with that W. That fight go the distance and it's close. Canelo getting that strap. It's Canelo getting it. That's for sure. Sorry, I'm not from the U.S., but I always associated Timbs and jeans with New York. Bro, listen. New Yorkers been wearing Timbs. It could be 110 degrees, bro. 110, burning out there. Your feet is sweating. You still rocking the Timbs. It's just, the jeans and Timbs, it's a staple of New York culture. Look, there's no chance that you're going to go hang out, let's say, in a park in the summertime and not bump into people wearing that outfit. And then the Timbs, the jean shorts, and the white shirt with the blue Yankee fitted, that shit is a uniform. You're going to see a bunch of people rocking that. But I got to say, my peoples, outside of the uniforms that they was wearing in that ZUFFA card, which, like I said, I didn't really like, the card itself was really good. You can't knock it. You cannot knock it, my peoples. It was super competitive. Now, why was it super competitive? You see it right there. Look at the combined record of all the fighters who faced off on ZUFFA Boxing. 227 wins and only 9 losses. Bro, that's a heck of a competitive card. So the matchups ZUFFA Boxing put together, bam, salute. You got to give it to them. Got to give it to them, my peoples. But it's like I told y'all, they got to step up when it comes to them outfits. Because ever since Hector Camacho did this, the Indian outfit, gladiator, fireman, and all the mother crazy outfits Hector Camacho brought us, he changed the culture. He shifted it to, we not just out here fighting, we out here entertaining. We entertaining the fans. When Hector Camacho walked in that ring, making that ring walk, you got hyped. Oh, shit. Oh, look at Camacho. Oh, that's crazy. Woo. He entertained us. And he understood that. And ever since that, Prince Nassim Hamed, who was you know, somebody that was inspired by Hector Camacho. Because let's keep it real, we gotta give Hector Camacho his flowers. 90% of fighters are wearing Hector Camacho-like shorts. When you see them long shorts with the glitter, with things hanging off of them, looking like a little mini skirt with something under it, all that shit was started by Hector Camacho, the legend, the GOAT, the icon. Rest in peace. Come on now, my people. So ever since Camacho made that a staple of boxing, you see other fighters. You see other fighters doing it. Look how fire that outfit looked. And it was Errol Spence that brought it in. Look at this iconic joint that Tank Davis wore. Come on now. That thing looks like he should be on a runway in a fashion show. Carmel Moulton, I don't know if you saw the gold trunks. It's different, my peoples. The outfit is part of the entertainment value. So I hope that at some point, Dana White, His Excellency Turki Al-Rashid, will consider throwing that away. Remember this outfit from Shakur Stevenson? Come on now. Remember this outfit from Terrence Crawford? Come on now. So that's my only knock on Zuffa Boxing. Right there. John Parham, salute my brother. Bam. Tan hat, 100K, chrome heart, shorts and trunks. Come on now. Get in trunks. Come on now. Fit in trunks. Yeah, I was lost right there. Come on now. Fighters get to express their creativity, their individuality with the outfit they wear. Daniel Negreanu wore the 40-pound costume and lost the yeah, we can't be wearing no 40, 50-pound outfit. That's different right there. But I have to say, other than the outfit, which is like I told you, I didn't like it all, white trunks, black trunks. Other than the outfits, yo, Zuffa Boxing gave us some great fights. Gave us some great fights. So you gotta give them their credit. Dana White, His Excellency Turki Al-Rashid. Boom. So look, man, y'all got it. Y'all got the fights. Y'all got the good fights. Y'all got the young undefeated fighters. Y'all signing the names. Let's just reconsider the outfits. And then, my peoples, now that we addressed the highlights and the lowlights from Zuffa Boxing, it's mostly highlights, mostly good. Zuffa's going to be doing damage in 2026. They already showed us they're going to be a major player in the game. Then we got to Saturday, and Matchroom gave us a heck of a card. Some controversial scorecards that we're going to talk about. But just like Zuffa Boxing gave us some young fighters and some good fights, Matchroom did the same. We got to see some young talent doing their thing. Let me start off with Amari Jones. Whoa. Did you see Amari Jones on Saturday? How the hell you look so big, so strong, and then you super light on your toes like that? John Parham, it looked like penitentiary boxing. I said that. I said like, damn, everybody black and white shorts. It looked like a bunch of inmates going to the yard to play handball and shit. And that's their jail outfit that they got. I'm not feeling it. I hope that they reconsider. I really do. Because what I want for Dana White and for Zuffa Boxing is for the optics to match the quality of the fights that we're getting. It looks like we're getting some great fights with some cheap-ass shorts. That was my take from it. But Matchroom gave us some smoke. Now, I will say something where Zuffa Boxing was better than Matchroom. And you wouldn't even think about this. But Zuffa's going to make us talk about it. Look at the young fighters on ZUFFA Boxing who they faced versus the young fighters on Matchroom and who they faced. Omari Jones, the guy he faced, you could say he was pretty good, but he was going to beat him. He outclassed that guy. And then ZUFFA Moses, who's a future superstar, that was an easy win for him. He fought somebody, I don't know how many losses the guy had, but the guy wasn't really that good. So you see the difference between ZUFFA Boxing, where they like, no, you're going to have to fight good fighters right away. We're not going to go through this process where we're developing you slowly and we're going to get you some easy wins. No, you're going to fight. And we saw a couple of undefeated fighters take their first L in that fight. First L right away. In Matchroom, the young undefeated fighters didn't lose, but they didn't face guys who even had a chance to beat them. And we've seen this traditionally in boxing. That's what we've always gotten. If you're a young fighter who's 7-0, 8-0, you know, around there, 6-0, you're going to get guys with losing records. Nobody in ZUFFA Boxing had a record where you're like, yeah, this guy's going to get beat up. That's why I showed you, you know, that image where it shows the collective record of all the fighters that fought on ZUFFA, 200 and something wins and like 6 losses. So you saw the difference. I'm telling you, my peoples, on ZUFFA Boxing, it's going to be tough to stay undefeated. It's going to be real tough because they matching them up early. They're not going to wait until you're ready for a title shot or until you know, 15, 20, 30 fights till you're ready for a highly ranked contender. They're going to be matching guys up early. Look at Caleb Walsh on the main event. He got to fight Carlos Ocampo. That fight went the distance, and it was a tough fight. Caleb Walsh got dropped. If he would have been on top rank, if he would have been on Golden Boy, Caleb would have been facing a guy with 10 wins and 7 losses at this point in his career. And it would have been an easy win. He knocks him out. He looked good. But it didn't go down like that. So ZUFFA Boxing is going to bring us this new culture of matching up fighters young and early in their career. You're not going to be able to hold on to that undefeated record unless you are the creme de la creme. Come on now. John Parham, Moses is blessed to be in his camp with Shakur and Bud. Hold on, look. And I've said it before, and I'm consistent. I feel comfortable with that. ZUFFA Moses is going to be a star, a superstar. He's going to be one of those guys who wins titles, unifies, move on to the next division, do it again. He's going to accomplish a whole lot. But at this stage in his career, he gets more easy fights or easier fights than guys who are at the same stage on ZUFFA Boxing. It's tougher to stay undefeated over there. My peoples, remember, man, no ghost watching. In 2026, we double tapping that screen, my peoples. Hit that like button. I'm about to get out of this shadow band real soon, a couple more days, and we're going to be lit. Kobe, Abdullah Mason will stop him. Look, man, Abdullah Mason is another young fighter who's a special fighter, and I expect a lot of big things from Abdullah Mason, y'all. Clifton Dennis, I definitely don't see that in Quinn. But Hydro Grind, hit the 3 dots on the top right. Look, man, you can hit the little 3 dots on the top right to hit the like, or you can double tap the screen. Bam, bam. Come on, my peoples. Let's get it. Listen, fellas, listen. I made the comparison between ZUFFA Boxing and Matchroom because there's some positive things that we can see on ZUFFA that I believe is going to shift the culture of boxing. We're going to start seeing when ZUFFA keeps doing this and keeps putting together these tough matchups, these competitive fights, These cards where all the fights are super competitive, when we see that, it's going to force other promotional companies to do the same thing. Why? Because you're going to see two young fighters on Zuffa, pam, 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 going at it. You're like, God damn. And then you're going to go over to Golden Boy, for example, the Matchroom, to Top Rank, and you're going to see a young fighter with an average Joe, bam, 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 putting the beats on him, bam, 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 bam. Easy win. And that's going to turn into a conversation. You're going to be like, damn, bro, y'all getting some easy wins over here. These guys are dismantling each other. And that's what fans want to see. Fans want competitive fights. Kobe, you ever go live on IG? Sometimes. Not that often, but sometimes I do. Soon I will be going live on YouTube and IG simultaneously. Kobe, but Dana White will mess it up. Believe me. Listen, bro, let me tell you something. Dana White's not going to mess it up. I'm telling you, the only knock that I got on them is the uniform. I hated the uniforms. But the matchups, bro, the fights, you can see that they signing young, undefeated talent, prospects. They signed Jai Opataya. They signed Rayo Valenzuela. I see that Jalil Hackett, future world champion, already signed with ZUFFA Boxing. He got a fight coming up. Bro, they're going to do some damage. I know there's going to be pushback. You know, people don't like the fact that they said, nah, we're not going to recognize the sanctioning body. We're just going to do the ZUFFA belt and the Ring Magazine belt, and that's it. But, man, and I didn't like that either. They already said they're going to allow Jai Opataya to unify the titles and to fight for the titles. So, ZUFFA Boxing will be a major player in the game already this year. I promise you that. They're not going to mess it up because they got a great plan. The way that, listen, it was just the first card. The first card on ZUFFA Boxing, and look what we got, bro. Look. Look at the record of the fighters who faced each other on that first card. Look. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy right there. When you see that the fighters combined got 227 wins and only 9 losses, you already know that you're going to get a competitive card all around. You're not just going to get 1 or 2 good fights. They're all going to be good. And they delivered. They delivered. The fights were super competitive. We saw a couple of undefeated fighters lose their O. We saw devastating knockouts. Everything that the fans want to see in boxing, we saw it on that first card. One thing that I want to point out. ZUFFA Boxing is on Paramount Plus. And I'd say a lot of boxing fans don't have Paramount Plus because, well, that's not an app that's recognized for boxing. As Dana White starts to sign more big names and bringing in more of the people that we're familiar with, fans are going to start getting the Paramount app. They're going to start subscribing. Because look at that first card. A lot of people missed it. A lot of people told me, yo, Jay, man, I'm glad you was calling the fights and that you call it the way that you do because you're bringing me the action. I can't see it, but you're bringing me the action. And it's almost like I can see it. You guys know I call blow for blow. But ultimately, I believe people are going to be interested enough in these cards and these fights that they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to need that Paramount app. That Paramount Plus app. I'm going to need it. John Parham, ZUFFA going to try to slowly take over. I'm telling you, they on it. They on it. They're going to be a problem. Kobe, so ZUFFA going to compete with Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're going to compete with everybody. It's going to get to that point because I'm already seeing a lot of fighters signing with Zuffa. On the first card, one of the fighters had none other than Robert Garcia in his corner. Robert Garcia, with a fighter that's on ZUFFA Boxing. So now we're seeing familiar faces inside the ring. We're seeing familiar faces in the corner. It's only up from there, my peoples. Brascarol, they got plenty of money to sustain this model. I agree with you. I agree with you. So they're going to continue putting together competitive fights, competitive cards, such as this one. And now you're signing names. You're signing people that we know. Rayo Valenzuela, we know what he brings to the table. Jayo Pataya, a star. That's a trend. They're going to keep doing that. You're going to see a lot of fighters migrating to ZUFFA Boxing. Kobe, that's insane combined record, but Paramount has been getting more in the spotlight for sports. Come on now. Paramount Plus, ZUFFA Boxing, they're going to be a major player in the game in 2026. It's not going to be a slow process like we thought originally. We thought, man, listen, there's going to be some B-League stuff going on over there, and people not really going to pay mind to it. Ain't nothing B-League about what we saw on Friday, but the shorts, but the uniforms. Outside of that, everything was top-notch. The Hydro Grind. How can you compete when your main event is Kalen Walsh? And now next week, the main event, Rayo. Who will pay to see this? When this weekend we have 3 completely stacked cards. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to compete from day one, my G. But what you think is going to happen when they have Jai Opataya headlining an event, and they bring in some young undefeated fighters to that same event, and they're going to compete. Remember, this is the first card. First one. We're going to get to the point where they'll have enough fighters to put together stacked cards too. Come on now. John Parham, this weekend is lit, of course. Championship fights. Great fights on the way, bro. But let me just say, before we get to that, we cannot skip over what Matchroom gave us. John Parham, remember a lot of people were saying that Bam was going to sign with Zuffa. Bam is going to Zuffa. He's going to Zuffa. Nope. He just re-signed the contract with Matchroom. Decided to stay. I think in Bam's case, and in other fighters' case, who are trying to grab all these titles, they're going to be hesitant to go to Zuffa. Because they're like, wait a minute. If I can't fight, if I can't become undisputed with the 4 main sanctioning bodies, I'm not going over there. But Jai Opataya might be the one to dispel that notion. If he goes in and it's allowed to unify titles, it's allowed to go for undisputed, then that's going to bring some ease to the fighter, some reassurance. If I sign with Zuffa, I can still fight for this IBF belt. I can still fight for this WBO belt. I can still fight for these titles. If Jai does it, that's going to help other fighters say, you know what? I'm going to Zuffa. But for now, Bam wasn't having it. Re-signed with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. But this Saturday, my peoples. Let me first talk about what happened with Khalil Cole and Jesse Hart. Did you guys see Khalil Cole versus Jesse Hart? First of all, Khalil Cole showed up 8 pounds overweight. 7.8 pounds to be exact. In my personal opinion, if a fighter shows up that heavy, pull the plug on that shit. No fight. That's my personal opinion. But Jesse Hart was all about that smoke. Was like, now I want to fight. I think they approached him and even tried to stop the fight from happening. But Jesse Hart wasn't having it. He was like, nah, we fighting. And there's different reasons why I understand it. Number one, imagine how much money you spend during a training camp. How much you invest. How hard you work. To then say, oh yeah, we're not fighting anymore. Forget it. Forget it. That's tough to do that. So I get that. And number two, you want to fight. You train to fight. And that's what Jesse Hart did. He was like, yo, we fighting. Let's get it. The way the fight played out versus what the scorecards look like, that was crazy. Some of the scorecards did not reflect what we saw inside the ring. Did not. If you watch this fight, you saw Jesse Hart dominate the first half, putting all type of hands on Khalil Cole. And you even saw Khalil Cole, who had a very low punch output in the first few rounds. Going forward, getting tagged, putting this hand down, getting caught with the big right hand, boom, up top. Jesse Hart with the jab, moving to the left, to the right, that lateral movement. And he kept catching Khalil Cole, boom, with that overhand right. But then, you saw Jesse Hart running out of gas as they approached the mid-rounds. Khalil Cole started going in hard after that and landed his own big shots. Now, they both got a point deduction. Khalil Cole got a point deduction because he WWE body slammed Jesse Hart, literally picked him up, boom, slammed him on his back. That was crazy. There was a point deduction for that. Jesse Hart, when he started running out of gas, he started clinching a little bit more. He got a point deduction for that. But then towards the end of the fight, you saw that Jesse Hart kind of got a second wind and started letting the hands fly, landing some big punches again. When that last bell rang, I felt like Jesse Hart edged it, or like it could have been a draw. So you know what? Maybe Jesse edged it, but this could be a draw. And then we saw the scorecards. One judge saw it 94-94. You saw it a draw. Fair enough. Another judge saw it 95-93. That's cool, 5 rounds to 7. But the third judge saw it 96-92. I was like, yo, 96-92? That judge, I don't know, man. It looked like he filled up his scorecard on Friday and just decided, let me fill out the scorecard today. I'm going to enjoy the fight. I'm going to just watch it. Fuck it. That scorecard did not reflect what we saw inside the ring. But, and I want to say, you know, we've been praising Greg Hackett, who did a great job in the corner. Obviously, they had a great training camp. Jesse Hart was prepared for this fight. And you saw Greg Hackett giving the great instructions. Jesse Hart following them inside the ring. I don't know how those scorecards came through like that. I don't know what happened. I felt like Jesse Hart got robbed. Because to me, it should have been at least a draw. Did not see Khalil Cole winning that fight. And you guys may recall, I predicted Khalil Cole was going to win. So when you say somebody's going to win and they win, normally you're happy because you was right. You're like, yeah, I say he was going to win. He won. In this case, I said Khalil Cole was going to win the fight. And when he won, I was like, I don't know. I don't know about all that. That was my perception of the fight. Down on the ground, that fight, got a lot of negative articles. The Hydro Grind. Clifton, the UFC is Dana's baby, and it's a huge market. And look at the salaries. Imagine. John Parham. People think Hart got cheated. I had it a draw. Hart gassed. Exactly. Hart gassed, but he should have been ahead on the cards enough so he still get the W, or it's a draw. I even went as far as comparing it to Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. Why? Because Teofimo, we all know he won the first half of the fight, and then Lomachenko started coming on strong, started winning rounds, and then Teo won the last round to seal the deal. But it was very similar. Jesse Hart, the first half of the fight, he won that. And then Khalil Cole started coming on strong, landing his own big shots, winning rounds, and then you saw Hart get a second win towards the end of the fight and win some rounds. So, again, my peoples, that fight, the scorecards, I don't think they reflected what we saw inside the ring. Good fight. Good competitive fight, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Braskarov. Yo, I saw the body slam. Wham! Bro, WWE. Remember when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant? Yeah, boom! Khalil Cole looked like he been practicing that same body slam. BBO Sports TV, salute my brother. Teo is about to win this for the whole hood. Hey, nobody can beat prospects without a knockout or a knockdown. Y'all remember Abraham Nova shot, got robbed on the same card? Whoa. Whoa, I remember that. But hold on, my people. Because we ain't even get to the main event yet. Raymond Murataya shocked a lot of people by beating Andy Cruz. What a fight. Only January. The year just started. And this is without a doubt a fight of the year candidate. Without a shred of doubt. 12 rounds that were completely action-packed. From the very first round. From round number 1, the first bell, you saw Raymond Murataya applying the pressure. And he applied pressure from round number 1 up until the last bell. Then you saw Andy Cruz with the sharp power, with the sharp counter punches, with the lateral movement, with the head movement, with the angles. Andy Cruz, pam, 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 letting the hands go too. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I had Andy Cruz edging that fight. But I could have seen a draw. I could not have imagined that one of the judges would score it 10-2 in Murataya's favor. Huh? 10-2? According to that judge, Andy got washed. Completely washed. Well, like, I told you guys on Sunday, man, I would call that judge to a meeting. Like, bro, we got a meeting today. Come to the meeting. And when he shows up to the meeting, this is how it plays out. Bro, go ahead, grab a cup of coffee. What happened with that scorecard? You saw Andy Cruz 10-2, only winning 2 rounds out of the 12. Can you explain to me how exactly did you come up with that scorecard? Oh, well, you know, as I was watching the fight, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. You fired. Security, get this bum out of here. You don't know shit about boxing and you don't know shit about scoring fights. You goofball, get out of here. And put the goddamn coffee down. You ain't drinking no goddamn coffee over here. You goofball, get out of here, bum. You getting fired. that scorecard did not reflect what happened in the ring at all. If you tell me that you got Andy Cruz winning, I mean, if you got Muay winning 5-7, fuck it. You got it. 10-2? There's no way you could have been watching that fight and scoring it based on what you were seeing in the ring. There's just no way. Come on now. Danny on the ground, you said yesterday, Andy's face wasn't even bruised, bro. Andy's face looked like he just finished walking out of a spa and he was getting a facial massage. Muratai's face looked like he's the one that got lumped up. The hydro grind, I had an 8-4, and one of those could have been scored either way. So 7-5 is cool too. Yeah. There was a couple of rounds, swing rounds that could have gone either way. But 10-2? God damn, my peoples, 10-2. That motherfucker filled out the scorecard on Friday too. I don't know if they gave him a little brown paper bag with a little 10 racks and the scorecard that he's going to turn in for the fight. I don't know. But I can't trust a judge like that scoring a fight like that. What the fuck is you watching, bro? Well, what are we doing over here? Goofball shit. My peoples, we about to hit the hour mark. Let's hit that. Damn, 12 likes? Has the show been that whack this morning that only 12 people liked it? God damn. This must be the wackest episode of Boxing for Breakfast ever. Shit. Ain't nobody feeling this. I think we're going to finish this episode early, man. We're going to have to, I don't know, maybe I'm not on the zone today and shit is just whack. Next week, my peoples. Next week. So again, look, on Saturday, we did get some great fights from Matchroom. They were competitive. They were super fun to watch. But, man, them scorecards, the Khalil Cole versus Jesse Hart scorecard where you felt like Jesse Hart got robbed. And then Andy Cruz versus Raymond Murataya where it's like, And I'm going to say this. I want to make sure I'm clear with this. I don't want to say that Andy Cruz got robbed. It's hard for me to say that. I saw him edging it out. I felt like, yeah, he edged it. But it was close. In a close fight, you know that it could go either way. But a blowout win by Murataya in the eyes of one of the judges, man, that judge is full of shit. That shit felt like that's Raymond Murataya's cousin scoring that fight. Victor J, salute, family. So great fights. Great fights for Matchroom. Didn't like some of those cards, but Eddie Hearn put together some great fights. So salute to all the fighters, all the warriors who did their thing on Saturday. And salute to Raymond Murataya. He went into that fight feeling confident in himself, telling everybody, yo, I'm going to be the face in the 135 division. He delivered. Gave us a great fight. Tay, it was Cheatham. He the new CJ Ross. God damn, man. What the fuck is going on with Cheatham? He keep turning in them funny-ass scorecards, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Cheatham name, we're hearing about him way too many times. Like, yo, what the hell happened with this card? Oh, nah, that was Cheatham. Again? Cheatham again? God damn. Now, before we talk about next week, we got to talk about this. Multiple people had told me last week that Bam was going to ZUFFA Boxing. Bam decided to re-sign with Matchroom. He's sticking around. Now, why did Bam decide to stay on Matchroom? We don't know. But I could tell you, fighters have a different perspective in the way that they move. Eddie Hearn made Bam a star. And some fighters stick with the guy that helped them get to that point if the relationship is good. So if Bam has a good relationship with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, then it makes sense for him to stay. They're going to keep getting him the fights. They're going to keep helping him accomplish, putting him in position to keep winning these big titles, fighting names. He decided to stay. Let's see what's next for Bam Rodriguez. But he's one of the best out there, pound for pound fighter. And that's good for Matchroom that he decided to re-sign with them. Salute to Bam Rodriguez, man. He's been accomplishing so much. We were all anticipating a future matchup with Naoya Inoue. So, Bam versus the Monster. We don't know how far away are we from that fight. Because remember, they're divisions apart. Bam has to ultimately move up. And I told you guys before, Naoya Inoue, he's not going to fight him in no catch weight. That's not happening. The Monster is not going to adjust to a weight class or to a catch weight to fight Bam. Remember I told you this. So for Bam to get that fight, he's going to have to move up and fight Naoya Inoue in his division. But ultimately, we all know that's a super fight. That's a big, big super fight. Take Bam versus Takuma Inoue first. Look, man, the way that this is going to play out, I think that it could still take a couple more years before we get Bam versus the Monster. In the meantime, the Monster got this guy, what's this guy that he won recently? The Asian guy, too. That he won recently, but he was in a tough fight. I can't remember his name, man, and I called that fight, too. And then there's Cuatro Alas. Casimero and Inoue, that's a fight that we didn't get. Because Casimero, a goofball, he be acting up. Oh, yeah, Junto Nakatani, there you go. Junto Nakatani was in a dogfight. A dogfight in his last fight. Some people felt he lost. But ultimately, it looks like we are going to get Junto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue. We might get that fight next. It'll be a good, explosive matchup. I'd love to see it. Love to see it. Victor J. Hernandez, the Mexican, I thought beat Junto last fight. That was a tough fight, bro. And I'm telling you right now, when the last bell rang, I didn't know if Junto was going to get the nod. I really did. I was like, damn. Junto Nakatani got hands put on him. But it was a very good fight. It was a very competitive fight. We have to admit to that. Side, Dana say he's going to try to pull Bud out of retirement. I saw that. He said that, if I'm not mistaken, there's one comment that he said that it didn't really sit right with me. He was like, Bud should be fighting everybody. What you mean Bud should be fighting everybody? You know, that didn't really make sense to me. Fighting everybody? Nah, he shouldn't be fighting everybody. When you get to the level of Terrence Crawford, you fight whoever you want to fight. And I think that's where Dana White is going to have to understand how you're going to approach Crawford. Crawford already said, for example, I'm not fighting Benavidez. Y'all not going to force me to go all the way up to 175. No. And Turkey wanted him to do that. His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh was trying to push him into going to 175. They like, no. And I'm going to put it to you guys like this. Right now, the reason why Terrence Crawford retired, in my personal opinion, number one, goofball Mauricio Sulaiman stripping him and acting like a dummy. And number two, His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to push him into a fight with David Benavidez. He not having it. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all disrespecting me. Y'all disrespecting what I accomplished in the game. Y'all gotta stop that. So, if Dana White thinks that he's just gonna offer a certain amount of money and force Crawford into fighting somebody he doesn't want to fight, he's not gonna get that. No chance. You could try to hit him up like, yo, we're gonna give you this much money to fight Benavidez. You're not gonna get that. Now, if you're gonna get Terence Crawford to fight somebody that he wants to fight, then the fight could happen. But remember, what Crawford was planning on doing was going to 160 and beating one of the 160 champions. That didn't work out because this dude tested positive, and obviously the fight's off the table. Man, he fumbled the bag. Fumble the bag, man. You got Terence Crawford telling you, I got my eye on you. Good luck for your next fight. And then you pop dirty. Your ass is cooked. You fumble the bag. And Carlos Adames is the WBC champion. Crawford is not going to fight for the WBC belt. After that move, the goofball dummy Mauricio Sulaiman pulled off. So that's why you're like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm retiring. What can Dana White offer to make Crawford want to come back? Because it's not going to be money. Of course, money's part of it. Yes, you want to get the money, you want to get the paydays, but Dana White got to have the right opponent. Tell me, what do you want? Okay, wait for me right there. I'll bring you something right now. Tay, styles make fights. Monster isn't as tough as the Mexican who had that pit bull head. As tough as the Mexican. Nah, Tay, you can't say that, bro. You can't say that about the Monster, man. Did you not see the Monster versus Nonito Donaire? This dude got his eye socket broken. With a broken eye socket, bro. He still fought through it and beat Nonito Donaire. Can't say that. Yo, there's fighters out there with a broken eye socket. They ready to quit. You're ready to quit. And this guy fought through it. So you can't say the Monster is tough, man. It don't get tougher than, trust me, most people, the average Joe broken eye socket, you taking a knee and getting counted out. You can't keep fighting. Your vision ain't even the same out of that eye. Yo, he not a game. Come on, Tay. That was prime Monster? You think now is not in his prime? Come on, bro. Come on, my guy. Look. Let me show you something. I'ma look it up. Bro, now you know he's 32 years old. At 32, you're dead in the center of your prime, my G. At 32, guy's performing at the highest level right now. So that was prime, and this is still prime, you know. And look, Terence Crawford showed us. Look at his performance versus Canelo Alvarez. How old? At 38 years old. That was a prime Terence Crawford that you saw right there. Prime. He's performing at the highest level of his abilities. Gave us the performance of a lifetime. So at 32 years old, my G, 6 years younger than Terence Crawford was when he whooped Canelo, hell yeah, you in your prime, my brother. You the strongest you're going to be, the fastest you're going to be. You're not going to get any bigger and stronger than when you're 32. You reach your peak. You peaking. At 32, you're peaking, bro. Now, I'm saying that you're peaking, but that's based on your lifestyle. Because there are fighters out there that are washed by 32. Tay, Prime Monster would have knocked Picasso. So, Tay, you're saying that because you don't have that good of understanding of what Picasso brings to the table. You're saying that Prime Monster would have knocked out an undefeated fighters. Bro, never predict that an undefeated fighter getting knocked out. Especially an undefeated fighter that you don't know. You don't know Picasso. You assume he was going to get knocked out. He didn't. He's a very good fighter. Now, I'll ask you, Tay, and I'll prove to you that right there you don't really know what you're talking about. Bro, when's the last time that you saw a young, undefeated fighter get knocked out? You don't know what you're talking about. I got to tell you, my brother, respectfully, you don't know what you're talking about. Young, undefeated Mexican fighters do not go around getting knocked out. I'm sorry. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. Listen to me and absorb that knowledge, my G. Don't say that. Don't say that young, undefeated fighters just go around getting knocked out. Oh, he's going to get knocked out. No. It's not the way things played out. At 32 years old, a fighter is in their prime. And you also have to take this into consideration. If you look at Naoya Inoue, this is a guy who doesn't drink, who doesn't smoke, who doesn't party. This is a guy who is a real elite level athlete taking care of his body. Tay, please don't say that a guy is not all that because he didn't knock out an opponent. That's people who don't know shit about boxing that say that. Don't go anywhere and say that because you're going to embarrass yourself. Look, you probably said that when Terrence Crawford didn't knock out Madrimov. Well, look, he didn't knock out Madrimov. That's the worst thing you can say, bro. You sound like a casual boxing fan. Listen to me and emulate what I'm telling you so you don't embarrass yourself. You do not decide prime or no prime because he knocked somebody out or because he didn't knock somebody out. Naoya Inoue beat a very good fighter in Picasso, dominated, and pretty much won almost every round. You're not going to knock everybody out, bro. Please don't ever try to decide who's prime and who isn't based on the knockout. Don't do that, bro. Just don't do that, bro. You're going to look bad doing it. John Parham, Superman, you've been working. Victor J, Superman. Yo, Superman in the building. Bam! Tay, you just talking. I'm telling you, don't embarrass yourself like that. You're embarrassing yourself. He didn't knock him out. And if he would have been prime, he would have knocked him out. You don't know what you're talking about. Listen to me and learn from the people who know. Let me get you some. My peoples, I'm going to take a quick commercial break for some hydration. Try to talk some sense into Tay, man. You over here talking about, he didn't knock him out, so he's not the same. No, bro, you just don't know what you're talking about. Somebody talk some sense into Tay, man. He don't know what he's doing. Let me get some hydration. Quick commercial break. My peoples, over an hour of action and not even 20 likes. Today's show, I'm going to finish it early, man, because it must be super whack that only 16 people liked it. God damn. I'll be right back, fellas. My peoples, we back in the building. First of all, let me just say, man, salute to everybody tuning in to this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. All for the love of sweet science. I appreciate it, my brother. John Parham, hey, I know what you was meaning. You feel he just stepped back some. So I gotta say, look. A year before Naoya Inoue faced David Picasso, some of you may remember, but they was actually supposed to fight each other in early or late 2024. And the fight didn't happen because Picasso's team didn't want it to happen. They were like, nah, we want to fight somebody else first, and then we want to get... So the fight happened a year after it was supposed to happen. Okay. A year before it happened, I told people that they were underestimating Picasso. I told people that he was going to make it more interesting than he did because, you know, he lost almost every round, right? But I told people, this guy's not going to get knocked out. This guy's not just going to get dropped a bunch of times, broken down, and lose in that fashion. And then the fight didn't happen. When they announced that it was happening, I repeated that sentiment to you guys. And I asked you the question. We spoke about it. I was like, yo, when's the last time that you saw a young undefeated Mexican fighter with 25 plus wins, Picasso, I think he got like 30, get knocked out? One of the names that came up was Fernando Vargas versus Tito Trinidad. And how long ago was that? That shit was over 20 years ago that fight happened. And what I was trying to explain is that Picasso's the type of fighter that you're not just going to knock him out. Because he got the boxing IQ, he got the footwork, he got the head movement, and he got the toughness that when you're not going to catch him with all the big shots. Because he's not a flat-footed fighter. He's not the traditional Mexican fighter. He's not going to stand in front of you, bam, 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 bam. He's not going to do that. He got the footwork. He got the angles. So when you catch him, he's going to take that shot. He's going to eat that. And I said, this guy is not getting stopped. So the way the fight played out, I actually expected it. Because I understood what he bring to the table. I understood that you wasn't going to stop this dude. And that's the way that it played out. So while I saw that coming, I expected that to happen. When it did, people said the same thing as Tay. Oh, the monster's not the same. Look, this guy I've never seen win the distance. Because let's be honest, most people ain't never seen Picasso. Most people never seen Picasso before that fight. Tay never seen Picasso before that fight. So a lot of people just assume, man, this is just some bum. This is just some nobody. Nah, Picasso's a guy who can fight. He's a real good fighter. And that's the way the fight played out. But not only that, just like the lunatic librarian said, it was still dominant in that fight. Dominated, damn near pitched the shutout. Versus a very good fighter. But he couldn't stop him. But he was still performing at an elite level. Sai, who was your Box Center Fighter of the Year? To me, the Box Center Fighter of the Year, Terrence Bud Crawford. If I'm not mistaken, the Ring Magazine gave it to Naoya Inoue. I don't knock him. Naoya Inoue is a great fighter. But I felt like, Tay, I seen Picasso before, though. Once again, you just talking. You seen Picasso before? All right, let me see how quickly you can answer the question. Tay, who you seen Picasso fight? Who did you see Picasso fight? Because you seen him before. Go ahead, Tay. Let me see how much time it's going to take you to Google that shit, because you never seen him fight. You never seen him fight. Look, tell me, Tay. I'm waiting on your answer. How much time does it take to Google it? If you've seen him fight before, your answer would have been oh yeah, I seen him fight this person. But look how much time it takes you to Google it. Diego Sum. Diego Sum, look, took you 20 seconds to answer that shit. You ain't never seen him fight. Diego Sum. That's what you saw him fight. Stop the cap, bro. You talking Diego Corrales. you talking to Jay Stradamus, my G. Stop the cap. You ain't never seen him fight. Bro said Diego Sum. Go ahead, Google it. Google it and put together a whole name. Matter of fact, don't even answer no more. Everybody in here knows you Googling it. And look, for those of you who are honest, who don't want to cap, keep it real. How many people in here can be honest and say, nah, I never seen Picasso fight before he fought in Norway? Be honest, my peoples. You ain't never seen him fight. Rest in peace to Diego Corrales, for sure. Most people ain't never seen Picasso fight, man. Why Tay got a cap like that? Why Tay got a cap like that? I know a whole lot of boxing. I seen him with Diego Sum. Come on, bro. Easy work. Easy work. Tay, yeah, I'm definitely Googling. You too old to be corny, fam. No, look at your answer. Diego Sum. Who the fuck is Diego Sum? Come on, bro. It's easy to see the cap. Too easy. But, my peoples, let me just say this. Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez is a fight that, if we get it, it's going to be a super fight. Gonna be a super fight. I'm hoping that it happens, but we don't know if it is or when it's going to happen. The Lunatic Librarian, not everyone can see every fight, and that's okay. I agree with you 100%. The Lunatic Librarian. Everybody's not going to see every fight. Everybody's not going to see every fighter. And then we have the fans that want to act like they see every fight and know everybody. Tay is one of them. Y'all seen him? I seen him. That nigga full of shit. That nigga full of shit. That's like, let me give you an example. Bakram Murtasaliev. How many people can say they was following Bakram Murtasaliev before he fought Tim Tszyu? Tay probably gonna tell us, yeah, I've been watching Bakram Murtasaliev. I know him. He fought Jason something. Shut the hell up. Shut your goofy ass up, Tay. I know the cat from a mile away. Victor J. Inoue versus Nick Ball, I think happens if Nick wins in 2 weeks. Ooh, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight. But I think we are going to get Inoue versus Nakatani. You saw Nakatani? That was a tough fight that he was involved in. And he called out the monster. Called out the monster. The Lunatic Librarian. This motherfucker knew. John Parham, Jay Smith, I'll vouch for the Tay. He knows boxing pretty decent. He just hasn't been in here a lot. No. Hold on. Because let me now. We trash talking over here. I know Tay know his shit. Hold on. Let's not, get to the trash talking and not acknowledge. Tay know his shit. He been talking his shit. If you notice, no matter what Tay said, he said you too old to be corny. He don't go on 24-hour break. He don't go on no type of break because he know his shit. There is no, if you know your shit, you could cap here and there like Tay was capping about knowing to do. But Tay know, respected Tay. He know his shit. Tay, I actually never saw Bakram, but my boy Big Supreme said he'll win. Hey, he had confidence in him. Look, and I'm gonna say this: the only thing that I seen from Bakram Murtasaliev was some highlight reels, and that's after they had announced the fight. After they had announced the fight with Tim Tszyu, I'm like, who the fuck is this? YouTube some highlight that was horrible quality versus no-name opponents. I'm like, hey, Tim Tszyu gonna beat this guy up. He ain't fighting nobody. He over there in Europe somewhere in little venues fighting cherry pickers. Nah. But we found out. We found out after he gave Tim Tszyu the beating of a lifetime. The Lunatic Librarian. I've been saying it on everyone boxing channel. Mortas Aliyev stopped Boots Ennis. Whoa, Lubin was lucky he fought Ortiz, the IBF world champ. I'm not going to say that he stopped Boots. I can't say that. But I will say, Bakram Mortas Aliyev is without a doubt one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. One of the most dangerous champions. And listen, man, that strap he wearing, it looked like nobody wanted. It looked like nobody want that joint. Do you see people? Yo, I want Bakram. Bring me Bakram. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that, bro. I've been said Bakram is the better BF of 155 or 154. Potentially he could be. Could be. Victor J, I'm putting some money on Kelly to beat Bakram. And I'm going to tell you something funny about that. Normally, I would have said Bakram destroys him. But after watching Josh Kelly in his last fight, he got some shit in his game that I didn't know he had. And he got dog in him. So that's going to be an interesting fight. Because Josh Kelly can fight. The Lunatic Librarian. Tim was the only top 10 that had the balls. Salute Tim Tszyu. And we could say he had the balls. But also at that point, nobody really knew Bakram like that. People didn't know him. People expected Tim Tszyu to beat him up. Tim Tszyu himself went into that fight thinking he was just going to beat him up. That was... Look, what happened to Tim Tszyu versus Bakram is similar to what happened to Tio versus Cambosos. Obviously not the same outcome because Tszyu got pulverized and stopped. But this is what I mean by that. Remember Teofimo Lopez versus George Cambosos? Those first few rounds where Teofimo went into that fight acting like he was going to blast Cambosos out of there. Bam, 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 getting hit. And like trying to outgun him. And he was getting outboxed because of that. By the time Teofimo tried to go into boxing and start winning rounds, he was too far behind on the cards and he lost. But Tim Tszyu, when he started getting pummeled by Bakram, instead of, okay, let me go into my footwork, let me start using my jab, let me start boxing him, he kept trying to outgun him. And he couldn't. So if you're going at it with a fighter inside that phone booth, bam, 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 and you're getting battered, you're either going to change that game plan or you're going to get destroyed. And that's what happened to Tim Tszyu. He never made any adjustments. He just kept going forward, bam, 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 trying to out-tough him. Listen, Bakram Mortas Aliyev is not the fighter that you're just going to out-tough. You're not going to outgun him. He too strong. He too big. And he's a bully out there. He'll bully him. You want a fighter that he'll bully. He's going to bully your ass. So, horrible game plan from Tim Tszyu. And it was also horrible that he was not able to make adjustments. Got battered. Pummeled. John Parham. Superman. Facts, bro. What Superman said? Slipper's just a better fighter. Mano. John Parham, I don't think he stops Boots, but he definitely put up a good fight. That's a tough fight, man. That can actually be a 50-50 fight. As good as Bakram Mortas Aliyev is, he can hurt anybody, y'all. He can hurt anybody. Victor J. Smith agreed. I think it's pretty good underdog. But I'm telling you, man, picking against Bakram or Tasaliev is going to be difficult. It's going to... Even if you put him up against Sebastian Fundora, that's a 50-50 fight. Right now, in my opinion, Fundora not watching him. That's a tough fight. Tell you, I did watch the Bakram fight. That's on his YouTube channel. Virgil and Boost versus him would be a good fight, stylistically. Man, listen, I don't know if they want to put Virgil in there with Bakram, to be honest. And you know why I say that? Because, yo, Virgil get hit a lot, man. He get hit a lot. He been coming out of his fights, face all red, looking like a tomato. I think he could get in trouble. Side, Tim got annihilated. Left hook was filthy. That's facts, man. Tim Tszyu took the beating of a lifetime versus Bakram Murtasaliev. The beating of a lifetime. The lunatic librarian, I like Josh Kelly. His chin will not hold up to the counter left hook and that straight right hand. I like Josh Kelly too. And look, I need to make that prediction already because I haven't made it. Because the last fight, Josh Kelly was in the ring, man. I was really impressed. Really impressed with what he can do. And he could take a shot. Can he take Bakram Murtasaliev's shot? Shaku hands. Back was rocking Tim. Pause. No Diddy, but you're right. He went in on him. Just beat the shit out of him. Let's be honest. Beat the shit out of Tim Tszyu. The lunatic librarian. I troll all the Philly boxing channels. Boost didn't petition the IBF when he was 147 champ to fight the next size up against Murtasaliev at 154. And you know what? We saw Jerome Boost Ennis make have a tune-up, and people hated on him for the tune-up. But Virgil looked like he's scared to death of that fight. Virgil and his team look like they don't want that smoke. But recently, I did see Robert Garcia say that that fight is going to be made. Let's see. Hopefully. Can't tell Virgil fans that they'll start second-guessing him. Look, bro. Virgil Ortiz is a special talent. I respect him. He looked like he don't want to fight Boots. Matter of fact, you guys remember they faced off each other in the ring, and right after that, Virgil's like, yeah, I want to fight Arrow. I would like to get in the ring with Arrow. Yo, Arrow been inactive for over 2 years. Fuck you want to fight him for? And you got Boots right here, right in front of you. To me, that said it all. You don't want to fight Boots. If you're calling out another fighter, it look like you don't want to fight Boots. The lunatic librarian. Murtasaliev has the pressure footwork of Beterbiev with the boxing length and straight punches like Bivol. That's a fact. That is a fact. Murtasaliev has a lot in the bag of tools. And not only that, yo, there's fighters who have this. This is something you don't teach. This is something that you're born with. Think about Triple G and the type of punches that he took in his career, and he never went down. He took some big shots from Canelo. He took some big shots from some big punches. Never went down. Some fighters, they just like got that robot DNA that you fighting like a machine. Murtasaliev is that type of fighter, bro. You're not just gonna boom, 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 boom. Nah, you're not gonna take him out like that. You're gonna have to fight him. You're gonna have to eat some nasty shots. I believe, look, I'm gonna tell you what. I believe that Jerome Boost Ennis could beat him because he has the skills to where he doesn't have to stand toe-to-toe and trade with him. Boost can actually box. We all know that. We all know the ring IQ, the footwork, the head movement, the lateral. Boost got a lot. That's the one thing that I want you guys to notice. There's fighters that they have a huge offensive arsenal, but the defensive arsenal is like this. They don't have a lot. Virgil Ortiz is one of them. The defense is not all that. Jerome Bruce Ennis has the arsenal on the offensive end, and on the defensive end. He could give you those angles. He could use that footwork. He can use that step back. Keep them hands up at close range. Boots can do a lot. Even at close range, Boots can hit you off with some more matrix shit and make you miss. Every fighter don't got that. A lot of fighters got the offensive firepower. They don't got the defense to back that up when they facing somebody who has that as well. JJ said that has good morning, 5 in the morning in California. Salute, JJ. Bam! Wes Dustin Fundora is still the man at 154. I agree with you 100%, bro. I agree with you 100%. Right now, and until further notice, Sebastian Fundora is the man in the 154 division. It's his division. Let's see who's going to be able to take that from him. Let's see. Tay, Virgil versus Mean Machine. But, you know, funny thing about that is people gave Virgil credit for winning that fight, but they didn't give Crawford credit for winning it. It's like, if Crawford beat you, you are nobody. But when somebody else beat you, yo, look, he beat this guy. It's like, god damn. Shackle hands. Greg be getting on my nerves because he always being messy. But he did his thing on Saturday. Whoa. My brother Greg Hackett in that corner, elite level coaching, elite level instructions. And might I say, to a lot of people, Jesse Hart, Greg Hackett, they got robbed. Let's be honest. A lot of people saw Jesse Hart winning, or maybe could have been a draw. And I want you to think about this. I said Khalil Cole was going to win that fight. So I was right. He won it. Right? I should have been happy. Like, I told you he was going to win. I didn't feel that way. Even though I said Khalil Cole was going to win, when that last bell rang, I felt like I was wrong. Nah, yo. I didn't get this one right. Jesse Hart got him. So maybe it's a draw, but he didn't win this fight. We got some funny judging. Funny judging on Saturday. John Parham. So is Tank really in Cuba? We don't know where Tank is at right now, man. They looking for him. They looking for him. They got the U.S. Marshals on him. And it's not going to play out the way Tank Davis wants it to play out. And I'm going to tell you why it won't play out like that. It looks like Tank is trying to negotiate a bail before turning himself in. I can tell you that right now, my people. I didn't have the same situation as Tank Davis, but I've had a warrant out for my arrest. I had the boys looking for me. I know what that's about. There's no such thing as a DA telling you, yo, if you turn yourself in, we're going to give you bail. No. That's not the way that it works. The way that it works is that we're going to catch your ass. You're either going to turn yourself in or we're going to catch your ass. Then the judge is going to decide if we could give you bail or not. But once you went on the run, if we catch you running, ain't no bail for you, son. No bail. You're already running. You already showed us that you're a flight risk. The best thing that Tank Davis could hope for right now is probably home confinement, where you get to wear the monitor and you can't leave your home and that kind of thing. No way he's going to get bail so that he can walk around freely. That's not happening. Or at least I don't expect it to happen. I know you got money. I know you got lawyers. I know you got all that stuff. But nah, bro. It's just not going down that way. John Parham, Jay Smith, we don't have Tank money. That's a fact. That is a fact. We ain't got Tank Davis money or Tank Davis high-powered attorneys. But when you go on the run, I don't know, bro. I don't think I've seen anybody go on the run, get caught, and then get a bail. I just never seen it. And at this point, when did they put out that warrant for Tank Davis? Like 3 weeks ago already? They've been after him. Been after him. And that's something that law enforcement considers. The time, the resources, and the money that they spent looking for you. Now you have Miami PD, you have the U.S. Marshals looking for Tank Davis all over the place because they know that Tank is not only in Miami or he's not only in Florida. I think he has residences in different places or he stays in different places. They spending time, money, and resources looking for him. By the time they catch him, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on finding and catching Tank Davis. That's taken into consideration. The judge is going to look at that like, oh, shit, you was really running. You made it difficult for us to catch you. So the odds of him getting bail are really slim. But I would say, if he turns himself in, then there's a possibility. But they're not going to give you a deal. They're not going to say, turn yourself in and we'll give you bail. That's not the way that it works. Not the way that it works. If you got a warrant out on your arrest, you got a warrant, period. There ain't no negotiations while there's an active warrant out on you. Danny on the ground, Tank fits in a suitcase. So that should... Come on, man. Shaggy, happy Tuesday, my G. Thank you for the boxing fix. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you tuning in. And shout out to everybody, man, who shows up for Boxing for Breakfast, who hits that like button, who shows love to Jay Smith. I really appreciate you. And I wanna give you guys a preview of something. So those of you who are here will get to see a preview of Box Center, the show. Let me grab my other phone real quick so I can give you guys this preview. Hold on. Check it out, my peoples. Giving you guys a quick preview of Box Center. I want to put you guys on, my peoples. I want to tell you what I've been going through. Some of you know that Box Center, the show, was supposed to drop tomorrow. Was supposed to drop yesterday on Monday. What I realized that if I want to do a 20, 30-minute boxing show, the editing process takes a lot longer than I imagined. I spent almost the whole day editing this show for you guys. I woke up at 5 in the morning. From 5 in the morning till 6:30, I was still editing. And I still got some more to go. So it's taken me more than I expected. I got to figure out. I'm not going to be able to. I wanted to drop it on Mondays, every Monday. I'm not going to be able to drop it on Mondays. I think I'm going to be dropping Box Center, the show, either on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, every week. But the editing process, man, I've been working real hard to bring you guys something that you can enjoy, something that you can appreciate, something that you can say, because I'm being real with you, my peoples. I want to bring you the best boxing show that you ever seen. That's what I want to bring you. I want you guys to watch it and say, yo, this is the best boxing show. So check out the intro. Those of you, most people haven't seen it, my peoples. The Lunatic Librarian, self-production is always a learning curve. So it's not really a learning curve for me because I've been, like, this is what I do for a living. I'm a content creator. I don't produce boxing content. It's customer service related. So producing and editing and all that stuff, I'm a master with it. But when you're doing it with a 30-minute video and you really want to bring, high quality shit, it takes a lot of time, man. Like one person or one person army, you ain't gonna do it in half an hour or in 45 minutes. You're going to take days if you really want to get it done. But let me show you guys the intro for Box Center, the show. Check it out. This is Box Center. This is Box Center. Hold on. Let me remove the background so you can see it. This is Box Center, the show. So that's the intro right there. When the show kicks off, you're going to see a little intro, and then we going in. But I promise you, it's taking me some time to, to complete it. This morning, it was so frustrating, y'all, because I'm putting this, I'm putting that in. And it's a process. It takes time. I wish I could just do it in one day. But if I want to bring you that shit, why Canelo first? Well, that they fight, right? But I promise you, my peoples, the show, I still have probably a whole day worth of editing to get it finished. But I promise you, man, you guys are gonna enjoy it. And I hope those of you who really like the show, that you share it across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Share that show, my peoples, because that's the one thing about YouTube. When you're a smaller content creator and you post videos, full-length videos, they don't advertise that shit. So I could spend 3 days editing this shit, working on this shit, post it, and that shit will have 15 views. That shit will have 50 views, 60 views. It's not like the live. When I go live, 500-600 views. I don't give a damn. Sometimes we go to 6,000-7,000 views. But with the videos, full-length videos, they don't get the views. If you don't promote it, if you don't push it, it don't go nowhere. So I'm working really hard to give you guys some real good content, a great boxing show that you could say, yeah, this boxing show is something that I want to watch. Every time it drops, I want to see it. I'm trying to bring you that. And just to give you an idea what Box Center, the show, is about, I'm talking about fights that took place in this first episode. I'm talking about that ZUFFA card. I'm talking about the Matchroom card that we got on Saturday, but I'm also addressing what we can expect from this card next week. 3 championship fights, headlined by Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. I'm talking about the main Keyshawn Davis. So I promise show you, watch it, and be like, yeah, man, you'll be able to tell that I put a lot into it. That it took, you'll understand why it took me 3 days to get it done. But I promise you, I'm working hard to bring you episode 1 of Box Center, the show. Tay, do you know the main time for the 31st? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure, but that fight is happening is that in Brooklyn or in New York? I think it's in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken, in the Barclays. It's going down in New York. What the hell is happening, right? So, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez is in New York. So, generally, those fights, the main event, when it goes down in New York, is going to be like at 12 o'clock at night, 12:30 at night, something like that. Those main events that go down in New York always, or in the East Coast, they always be late as hell. Don't fall asleep. People be falling asleep for those. Main event be almost at 1 in the morning and shit. The lunatic librarian, Tio getting stopped on cuts. He gonna look like Marquez versus Pacquiao too. Whoa, Sai, it's gonna be lit. I promise you, bro. I promise you. Box Center, the show is gonna be lit. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxer for Breakfast. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. The Lunatic Librarian, Sai, Tay, John Parham, Daniel Negron, Shaggy, Who else was in the building? Box fans, 1,000, salute family. JJ's and Daz always in the building, always showing love. Clifton Dennis was in the house. Come on, my peoples. MAW. Who else? Hold on, man, because I don't want to miss the people who's always here showing love, always here expressing their boxing knowledge. Wes Dustin was in the building in full effect. My peoples, listen, boxing for breakfast would not be the same if it wasn't for you guys. Simple as that. Simple as that. I appreciate every one of you who step in here, hit the like button, always show love and support. And support my peoples. I try to bring you guys great boxing content so that we can enjoy it together. We can all have a good time in the morning. Every single morning, you know Jay Smith is going to do everything he can to deliver for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. You know we're going to do it again tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I will be working very hard to drop the first episode of Box Center, the show. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do, please, my peoples, YouTube is not going to help me. Right now, I'm shadow banned. So I say, if you enjoy Box Center, the show, please share it across all social media. Let's get this great show out to the people so they see what we got going on over here. Jason Boo, Madison Square Garden, there you have it. New York City, Shakur Stevenson, and Teofimo Lopez, they're going to light it up. My peoples, once again, good morning to everybody. One love, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Jay Smith, I'm signing off, y'all. Bam.